training.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. Hey, Nick, you here with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Hey, good to see you.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you. I have a problem with my Starlink connection.
Yes, no.
Of course, like 5 minutes before starting.
It always catches you in like the worst possible moment. It's like the
Yeah.
way it goes. Hi, everybody. Hope you're all having a great Tuesday. So today we're continuing our finding data with natural language. FileMaker meets AI. We're doing day 2 and day 3. If you'd like to support the channel, we would greatly appreciate it. Feel free to pick up one of our annual subscription bundles. We have 3 options, but basically we each one has like a mass amount of video content, like 100 plus hours. If you do not like the stream format, if you want to learn FileMaker in a way that you can like back up the presenter and like rewatch things, or you have like things in small snippets, then this might be for you. Uh, so feel free to pick that up and do that if you'd like. If you look at this and go like, man, I really like FileMaker, I like learning FileMaker, or like I like FileMaker as a concept, I don't necessarily want to do it myself, we do have senior engineers to help you. You can reach out to us at support@rcconsulting.com. We got a lot of people looking, we always people looking for work. Nick is one of them. So if you'd like to hire Nick or engineers like Nick, Calvin is an engineer we have, Jonathan Ray, you've seen a couple of them come out off the show. They're always happy to take on new customers. You run into stuff you don't necessarily want to do yourself, of which there is stuff like that in FileMaker. FileMaker is very accessible, but it's also a time investment. So we get it when people don't want to do it themselves. With that all being said, I think I'm pretty much good to hand it over. Nick,
Yes.
would you like to share your screen for me?
Yes. Well, here we go. So we start from we where we left over yesterday, right? So yeah, I'm a little bit confused because I had a issue with my internet, so I reinitiate everything. So I'm a little bit like, ooh, I need to land it again on my
Yes.
feet, on my feet, right? So the yeah, so Friday we had the discussion about the AI stuff, right? So
Yes.
yes, okay. So I understand it's kind of like a rejection about the AI in the community, and so it's because it's maybe too complicated to understand. So I'll try to since we have time, okay, I can recap a little bit some basics about the AI integration in FileMaker, right? So our FileMaker is trying to use the support of AI to integrate new capabilities. Okay, so they try to use the ability of AI, right, to understand human conversation, like ChatGPT, because that ChatGPT was the first the first goal of ChatGPT is to understand human conversation. Okay, and that's why we call that a conversational uh, um, conversational AI. That means the AI can understand conversation, right, between with human language. You understand that. That's why they call that chat GPT, right? Chat. Okay. So thanks to that ability of the AI, AI can get what you ask with a normal, chatty, like you talk normally. And it has the ability to understand and do things with this and understand the mean, even though predict what you want, there's some like kind of an instinct and kind of understand what you want. For example, I'll tell you an example. Let's say I'm sending these fields, get fields on layouts. So let's say I'm sending this list of fields to the AI. So what it will understand this is we understand that we talk about invoices. Okay? So you will get that, you say, okay, I understand that. I understand we talk about invoice. We understand this is about amount, the city, the country, the currency, the customer name, the description, the date of the invoice, the status of the invoice. Okay? You understand the things. Okay? So now that I said, okay, give me all invoices, okay, €1,000 and more than higher than €1,000, right, from this year. And give me all the overdue invoices, higher than €1,000 for this year. So ChatGPT will say, okay, you give me this list of fields. Okay. Now I quite understand that, okay, I need to go. So this is what ChatGPT does. Okay. So let's put this on the side to open this. Okay. It's there. So let's say we have this. Show me overdue invoices over €1,000 this year. Okay. The latest on top. So I ask this. At the same time, I'm sending this joint to the request. So ChatGPT said, okay, here what I suggest you do. You do a perform find, right? And you say, okay, new, show me overdue invoice. Okay, so based on that list, I suppose that the overdue information will be inside the status, which makes sense, right? So he said, okay, I suppose that here I want the overdue. All right. And you say, okay, over €1,000. So I think, okay, you want inside this amount more than 1,000, right? So far, so good. And you say, okay, you want euros in the currency, but it appears that in your data, because FileMaker sent to me some glimpse of your data, it happens that based on the glimpse of data that FileMaker sent to me, because FileMakers do that, it sent some glimpse. The currency euro is EUR and not euros, right? Right? Then, so that's what you asked me. And then you said that you want the latest on top. So I assume that ChatGPT says, I assume that I need to have a sort, right? And the latest on top, that means I assume that you want the date of the invoice, right? And I have a date field. So because, you send me that date field here. And I'm going to use that date field and sort descending, right? And now I process this, and this is what you ask me to do. The latest on top, right? So if you say, show me overdue invoice for example, in France this year. Oh, I forgot the this year, right? So the this year, it will say the invoice dates. It will say 1/1/2025 ... right? And today is what? For me, we are in December 2nd. So for you too. So it's 12/2/2025, right? So we have done this. Now, right? Now you say, yes, but only in France, which I will have only one record. And you say, okay, country, France. Only one record, right? So this is what ChatGPT have done for you. Analyze your text and build kind of a JSON file that FileMaker is reading and executing the perform find. So let make this clear for you. Perform find by natural language doesn't send any data to ChatGPT. So the sort is not made by ChatGPT. The sort is made by your local FileMaker as a perform find. ChatGPT just builds that for you. That's all what ChatGPT is doing. Build that for you based on what you ask, but the perform find is executed here in my computer. Proof of it. I did this, right? And I'm asking this, so the result will be exactly the same because I pretty much, so let's remove the in France. Okay? So hold on. Why it's not doing it? Oh, sorry. My bad. I didn't initiate this. So I need to, because I just showed that, I need to initiate this, so the AI wasn't initiated, so it couldn't do this. So now it's doing it. Well, so I need to configure my AI accounts and get this in my system, right? To bed OpenAI, okay, and name the account name demo account, and then I can use this. Okay. So the sort has been made, right, locally. ChatGPT didn't do the sort. The sort is FileMaker did the sort. If I do here, I go find and say modify last find, I see this, and this. This was my last find, right? Let's say I say in France, for example, and I perform the find. Boom. If I go there and I said modify last find, well, I have France now here in country. So that means this performed by natural language. Read this, send that to ChatGPT, right? Send that to ChatGPT. ChatGPT knows this. We send that and that. Okay? ChatGPT said, okay, I know what you write. I write the code for you on the fly. Here I put more than 1,000. Here I put the country, France. Here I put EUR. Here I put the 1st of January until today. And here I put overdue. Right? It does that for you. It understands. Okay? If I said, show me all projects with ID starting with 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm asking something that doesn't exist, right? Well, I will have this. And the error will be the last error. Let's see if I get an error. No, I don't get an error, but the error, maybe I get an error here. Hold on. Because, because you can't find anything, because, there's nothing that match, what I asked for. See, it couldn't even do me the request here. It didn't put the request because it can't here. Yeah, I have the request. So let's put the results. I want to show you that I have a 4.1 or something like this because it couldn't find any, because this doesn't exist. If I do modify last find, right, he put in description this because he tried his best to understand, but he couldn't understand anything because that nothing to do with here. It's not a project. I don't have IDs. You understand? He couldn't understand the mean because nothing to do with this. Where do you see ID somewhere here? Do you see project? You know what I mean? It couldn't understand anything because nothing makes sense, right? So what I wanted to explain, see, he said 4.1, right? So you can analyze this, okay? You can see no record match. So that's why this is the getting this code is interesting, okay? Because you can hijack the answer, right? So here I have this, but I can say JSON get elements. So I don't know if it's code or something like this. No. It's message code. I bet message. I don't know. But we can get this or messages. I don't know. Double. I don't remember. Okay, so anyway, you can read what happened here. You say, okay, the found set, the response, that's a message code 4.1. That means no record match the request. Okay. In this here. Oh, I need to go to response. Yeah, I need to go to message and 0. Okay, let me see. This is where ChatGPT can be interesting. I can ask ChatGPT Um, uh, okay, I can ask ChatGPT here. This is what I'm doing when I don't remember. I don't use JSON much. Um, how to get a JSON get element FileMaker function to get me the error code. Right? That's it. Whoop. Yeah, it's the zero. I forgot about this because it's an array. So you can read the errors, right? Okay, the JSON is okay. So let me get the JSON, right? Copy values and this here, boom, right? So you can get the code, right? So you can do something like this if you want to optimize, right? So when you do this, perform, right? The request, the found here, you perform the get found set, it gets 0. Then this you get the request, right? So you can do this, the request, you can do this like this, that way. Okay. So I will explain. Okay. So now you can say if, so you get set variable, right? And you said last error, boom. And you get this, the get JSON element of this variable you generate when you perform that script step that goes to ChatGPT, get the answer, well, I have nothing here, right? Then, boom, you can read this, right? And you say, if last error, show dialog, right? Error and last error. Oh, okay. And you say, in the error, here you say, it's not message code that you want message. And then you say alt. That means there's an error happened, right? When you did so, that means don't do this, right? So I'm going to explain. This is an optimization of code, right? In the same time, I try to let you understand what happened, okay? So let's try with this, okay? So now I will get an error here, right? Boom. Error 4.1, no record match the request, right? And I didn't do anything, right? So let's say, right, I'm here. Here what happened. I'm using this. This is the prompt. That means this is what I want to send to ChatGPT as request. Okay? So he performed this step to get me the find request as JSON. So here he generated a variable that I can read to say, okay, what did you ask, right? What did you ask? Well, you asked this. From this layout, okay, you query this. And based on my understanding, okay, of what you ask me, that the only thing it could make sense to me. The only thing that could make sense that you want me, based on that layout, the only thing that makes sense to me is that in description, you want me to look for this. Okay? And, right, you want to sort like this, based on my understanding. Okay? So that's what he understood. That the query ChatGPT made up out of what you ask. Now, it continues and say, okay, now, here, try this. Get me the font set as a JSON in this variable, right? The different names, right? And then he returns that, okay, I return a message code 41. That means I found nothing in your database that makes sense with this. Okay? So now I'm reading and say, okay, hey, if you have an error here, right? If there's an error like 41, right? Well, show me that error. So FileMaker returns this, right? The code and the message. So that's why here I said set variable get JSON, get me the code, and here get me the message in my dialog, and then stop, because no way this gets font set. That means show me the record in FileMaker. Don't do it, because it won't work. So he stops, he got there, show dialog, and it stops. Now, let's put a prompt that makes sense. So show me invoices over 1,000 euros, over 1,000. I don't put euros. I want to show you why. Right? In Italy and France this year. Latest on top. Leave the typo. We leave the type. Okay. So now, why say no match request? So that the request is sent. Italy. So why not? Respond for one no match request. Amount, country. Maybe I don't have. Yeah, I have Italy. Okay, so I noticed that when I said two country like this, it has some problem. Okay, so now it worked. Okay, so I know why we have this problem because it said in Italy and France. So he searched for a record that is in Italy and in France at the same time, which is not what I want. Okay, so so it worked because now he understood. So now you can read the requests, so that he made the requests, right, as a FileMaker query. That's a FileMaker query, right? He made it automatically. So he did a perform find. If I go there, and I say modify last find, more than 1,000, country Italy, and from the 1st of January until the 31st of December of 2025, right? So he builds the perform find, he builds this, and he made perform find. So he built this on the fly, and then he applied the perform find. But the perform find has been made by FileMaker, not by ChatGPT. So almost none of your data is going there. Some of them are going there. Some of them. Okay? Because if I say, show me invoices, show me past due invoices, but I have none. See? So I have, let me remove in Italy because I have none in Italy. So, but I want to show you the past due because I want you to see this. So the past due, show me past due invoices over 1,000 this year. So it doesn't understand the past due, right? Okay, so now is where I will show you something that can be interesting because I thought it will understood that. So it could understand this, but not this, right? Because it should have said, because I have overdue, right? If I say overdue. So overdue is understand. Past due, it doesn't understand. So it doesn't do like a kind of a variation on the theme here, right? So I need to put, it did understand here though on the currency. I don't understand why. But yeah, that thing we need to learn about this, right? It's a brand new technology. So yeah, needs to be, but I will continue to investigate. I'm using this a lot, right? So that's why, I will come with explanations and stuff. So do we have any questions so far before I go further?
I think we're good for the moment. Someone did say, "Oh, didn't you recap this yesterday?" But
It's a little bit, it's a recap plus new explanation plus, try to, make you understand the benefit of this, right? Why it matters, why you should try it, right? And I try to, okay, here's something I'm going to discuss on Friday about, okay? I want you guys to get you understand something. And I'm it's very important, Okay. We talk about that now, but Friday I'm going to talk about again. But we have time, so we can have this calm and nice conversation. I am, as you understood, a little bit obsessed and extremely involved in AI. Why? Like I was when I was, okay, let me back. Okay. When I was 12, when I was 12 years old, my father came from the United States. He was going there often. He was working for his company. He had to go to New York pretty much every month. And one day he came back with a box with an Apple logo on top. I didn't even know what that it was. And he opened the box and he had this black plastic box with the little TV, little you know, black and white stuff and making a beep like this when he was starting. And okay. And at school, at the same time, they were initiated us to the basic, with a computer named Micro. Okay. Yeah, that Micro. So that's my first ever computer I ever touched. This one. Exactly this one. That was my very first attempt of computer in my entire life. Okay. And I was kind of fascinated, but not interested. You know, when my father came with the Mac Plus, right? That's, you know, uh, took my attention. It was graphical, was making noise, sounds, quink, quink. Remember that sound? Quink, quink. You know, the duck. Remember Marge?
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
Okay,
yes.
so I was very interested. And of course, my father said, if you touch this, you're a dead guy, you know? Of course, with my, because I'm like kind of guy, like, I'm kind of boy, like, you okay, if you tell me not to touch it, the only thing I want to do is touch it. Okay, so my father said, if you touch it, you're dead. Of course, I wanted to touch it. I touched it, and one day, okay, he had this Apple image writer printer, that one, right? And of course, he couldn't connect it. He received that. He couldn't connect it, and I knew why, because he was putting in the wrong ports, right? I was seeing it. I shut up because, otherwise you will know that I am touching his computer, right? And after 2 days, I said, if you want, I can help you, Dad. And he said, how you know that? You're 12 years old. You're an idiot, right? Yeah, but I know, So I unplug from the modem port and I put on the printer port and bing, ding, 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 start printing, right? So, and after that, so I wanted to be, I told my parents, I said, I want to become a computer engineer. And my parents said, oh, Lord, we are going to make him a professional, jobless guy. Okay, pretty much, So that means I will be jobless all my life, because who needs a computer engineer, right? But I saw it coming. I saw coming the thing, and more and more and more I was seeing the thing coming, and more and more and more I was doing. I wanted to do this, but on the Mac, when I was seeing the PC people, I said, oh, you guys are crazy. So, and of course, I made my first dollar in making FileMaker solution. I was 16, right? So, long story short, okay, I want to help the FileMaker community not making the same mistake as my parents will have made done. If my parents will have told me, Nick, no way you're going to touch a computer in your entire life, right? I will be jobless now, okay? But I never be in my entire life jobless, never, because I was a computer engineer. You understand what I mean? Okay. If you don't use AI now, okay, not in 10 years, not in 15, not even in 5 years, you're going to be out of business. I'm sorry to say that. You will be out of business. What is happening now, for example, in a Silicon Valley, and you know that, right? Microsoft, laid off like 15,000 people, Apple is laying off people. A FileMaker has laid off people you don't even know, okay? They laid off all the QA, what QA mean? QA, you know what QA mean? Okay? Quality assurance process into product services, so that the people, they test FileMaker. They test the product, right? To find out problems, check up the flows, and report. Who needs that? But you don't know about this because all those people were cheap laborers from China and India. So now they are laying off those people. Why? Because an AI is making much better work than 10,000 people in China, right? For the fraction of the price. So all those people gone. So now we have another problem because maybe you don't know. Because, for example, I'm coming from France, right? In France, you have a dubbing actors, dubbing actors, that the people doing the voice, right? Voice over actors, right? So those people in France, for example, that you had actors in France. They are famous because he's the actor of the voice of Bruce Willis in the French movies, right? In the French version, or he's the voice of Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars in France. Or, for example, one day we had an interview of Sigourney Weaver in replay in Alien, right? And she said in French, she said the actress that makes my voice in French make the character even deeper and more dramatic, even, right? Because the voice fits the character in the movie. You understand? So they could pick the voice of the actors of that actress making, you understand? So all those people, all those voiceovers actors gone. They're gone because of AI. So if you don't jump into the bus right now, okay, I'm sorry to say that, but you need to jump and you need to learn, right? AI stuff, especially in FileMaker, because those things, I tell you something. These perform find by natural languages, semantic find, all those things is just the beginning. And they are not going to stay there, right? They are not going to stop. And I will say finally. So let me tell you something. And we are going to talk about that on Friday again, but with more interactive stuff. You are not going to stop, you're not, if you want to fight the wind won't stop you. I mean, you won't stop the wind. You can't stop the wind. What you can do is learn to fly in the wind. If you don't, the wind will crush you. We will slap you, But if you learn to fly in the wind, if you learn to glide in the wind, well, you might land much further than you thought. You understand? So I understand what many people are thinking. Oh, I'm going to ignore AI and it's going to fade away. Okay? That's not going to happen. So who is going to fade away is you. So I'm sorry to be the bearing of, and to be honest with you, I know that one day even my job will go away. I'm sorry, but nobody will be, this, I think this will be the biggest challenge in humanity that we're going to face right now. Okay. So, because this is not going to stop. Okay. So it's not going to stop. And so what I need to do is to find, and you guys too, to find your path. So here for example, uh, let's say uh, I started my career, my curriculum, I am a psychologist. That my one of my curriculum. I made, 3 years of school in psychology, in parapsychology, and I am a photographer as well, and I am a designer as well. So this is my curriculum, okay, and I'm making pharmaceuticals. I'm a pharmaceutical developer. So what, but my curriculum in psychology plus my designer, uh, you know, curriculum, my designer skills, right, all combined together give me the ability to build nice a user interface and user experience, because knowing the human psychology helps a lot for human behavior and computer behavior as well. It's very useful, trust me, right? So FileMaker will evolve in a complete different product in the next years, okay? I'm not talking about next decades, I'm talking the next years. And we couldn't even count this in next month. So what I try to do here is to tell you that I understand it is more complicated than it could be. I totally get it, right? But I'm here to make it simpler, and I try my best to make it simpler, to bring it down to the simplest as possible, coming with example. I dissect all of this, and I brought to you all the meanings, and I'm showing you all of those, and I'm explaining how it is used for, what it's used for, and how to use it, and why they build it, right? Try to bring that to you. So you can watch the video, offline, okay, or later. You can watch the video and learn again. What um, so what you shouldn't do is say, this is too complicated, or I don't want to learn that. I don't need to learn that. I go perform fine. I'm fine with this, right? Yeah, you can do that, or you can still, when you say that, you know who you are when you say that. You are one of my ex future customer. I explain what it is. This a guy, I made a demo. I could build a FileMaker database. Back in the day, we were calling that, with my Mac 2, my Mac 2 SI. I have a Mac 2 SI in that kind. And I show him and say, hey, see, look, I can do this. You put the price here, you put your product here, and I, put the name of the guy, and I can do the sum of your invoice, add the tax, I bring how many hours you work for that guy, and you put the price per hours, and I give you all how many, and I do the separation between, I can do that. And the guy said, no, it's okay. I have a pen and I have my book, I have my notebook, I'm good. So he had this invoice print, like a booklet of invoices with its name on top, and was doing like manually, right? So, but this guy ended up calling me and say, yeah, I need your stuff, what you showed me once, right? He came back to me, right? And I said, what? Yeah, no, because I have too many things. I'm wasting my time doing this, right? I say, yeah, you waste your time, right? So you remind me this guy. If you say, oh, AI, I don't want, right? I don't want this, I don't want that. You are this guy. You are, yeah, I'm going to Blockbusters, for who doesn't know what Blockbuster is. you know, uh, you know, Blockbuster or video. So you're going there, right? And yeah, don't worry. I mean, it's okay. I'm going to Blockbusters and I'm picking my VHS video, right? You could do this, that. You could do it, right? I still have a VHS player. I have VHS, tape, but do I use this? No, right? So it's the same thing. You can't continue to go against the wind, but well, here you playing with your job. We are not talking about entertainment. We're talking about your job, right? So, and that's why you must jump in. So now, if you have questions, that's why I'm when I talk about AI, I don't see from you, and that's why I'm sometimes I'm irritated because it's like I'm giving you like priceless information and nobody cares. It's like, oh, I'm giving you the next mega million numbers, winners, and you don't care, right? So this is how I feel sometimes at the other side. And I feel like, wow, it's like I'm giving you gold in bars, right? And you don't care. And you don't care because you ignore the significance of what you're learning here. And you don't know how harmful that will be in your future, and I don't want to be the guy said, hey, I told you so, right? Instead, I prefer you to come back to me and say, hey, Nick, okay, thanks to you, now I can still be in business, right? That's what I want. You understand? So that's why, we need to have this conversation on Friday. But now I want you to tell me what you did understand here on this right now so far. Okay, did you get the concept, or do you want me to go deeper and take my time to show you and teach you? So I need to know.
The field comment is sent to the LLM question mark.
Yes, the comment is sent.
Uh,
And the comment of the field is sent, and it's very useful, right? So yeah, it is sent. Definitely.
uh, and then there was basically people asking like, how do you know what fields and what parts of layouts are being sent to the LLM? So
Okay, so I tell you, when you perform find, you need to when you initiate this step, you need to be in the right layout. Why? Because this step, okay, is going to send to ChatGPT this list. Is going to send this. That's why FileMaker made that accessible to let you see what ChatGPT receives as fields, right? As field names. So you need, when you perform this, you need to be in the right fields with the right layout with the right fields. That's why, and that's part of tomorrow's demonstration, that you need to build your layout, a dedicated layout, right? To initiate the find. You need to have a layout with only the fields you want to send over there. You cannot have, It cannot be your the layout, your data entry layout with all the craziness, all the field. No, you need to send the field, and sometime when you want the find to be like about something specific, right? Well, you say, okay, I want to go to that layout showing only those fields, right? You can have multiple layouts showing, and you insert in the layout different fields, and the find the by natural language will analyze only those fields, right? Okay, so yeah, so it's important the layouts, right? So that's very important. So ChatGPT knows the list of the fields, the name of the layouts, the name of the fields, field names, layout names, field contents, field comments, okay, and what you ask for. So it knows all of this, right? Then it generates kind of a JSON. It generates this. This is how it works. ChatGPT send this. So let me this user prompt. Let's make it like this. Okay. Let's fix this. Okay. So I made it like a global. Then it will be easier for you to understand. The perform find by natural language. We read that account as our AI account. Okay. Then it will get where's the user? Okay. Let me do this. Then it goes, user prompts. Okay. So he used this, show me overdue invoice. Okay. Over 1,000 this year, the latest on top. He reads this, right? He generates the requests, right? FileMaker reads this, right? FileMaker reads this, goes to a virtual, let's say, scripts, right? And he does, so he reads this is the query, and this is a sort. Field name, invoice date, descent. Okay? He reads this. In this layout, this amounts, invoice status, invoice dates, right? So it does like a virtual, let's say, like temporary scripts, right? Saying perform find this. Remember? That's what it came back, right? So let's see. Look. Remember this? The request that the request Looks familiar? Right? Amounts this, invoice status overdue, and this, boom, right? So he built, based on this, he built a virtual perform find script step with this data, okay? And then he said, okay, hold on, there's a sort also, like this, descending. That did what we asked for. Field name, invoice dates, descend. Invoice date, descend. This is what we ask. So now that FileMaker did that, okay, we can, he does this. Get me the found sets. Okay? Correct? But you can also ask FileMaker not doing the found set, but get me, don't change the found set here, but get me the found set as a JSON instead. You can do that. Sometimes can be useful. That means, see, message, okay, 0, no errors, right? So, but you say, okay, sometime you can, it could be useful for many things, right? Like this, for example, right? This is interesting. You can say, if I do a perform find, let's do a typical, let's do something here. Let's try something. Something that it just came to my mind. Let's say, right, you don't want to actually do, the found set. You want to know how many records you have with that found set. Just how many records you have. Sometimes we want that. Sometimes we just want, hey, how many records I have with this? But you don't really want to do the found set, Just you want to know how much, right? So what we can do, let me see, an application, right? JSON get elements from that, okay? So we want, so that's what I like to I asked ChatGPT. That's why I like to do that with ChatGPT, right? So I said, so I'm sending this. Make me a JSON get elements using this as a JSON source, and I want to get their found count. Okay, so it's going to build me the JSON get element using this, right? Copy. Oh, boom. Okay, so now that you saw that, that means I don't know, JSON, I don't, and actually, you know what? I tell you the thing. I tell you the truth. I don't give a damn of learning JSON. Though I don't. And I tell you, and I can tell you what, you know, the next step in FileMaker future very near, well, we will have like an AI into the calculation as well. You know what I mean? And you will say, hey, get this and get me the found count. Boom. And you have the code. You know what I mean? So let's say you don't want to know, okay? You want this, for example, show custom invoice found, you know, are using, for example, I'm making, right? I'm make, using using actually show you something because you're here to learn. Using this, right? Uh, I found I found and oh, I found. So let's say I say sure, right? And I ask this, okay? And I perform the find. Right? But I still have 1,000 here. Actually, I did the perform find. It found seven, the five, but I don't show me. I just say, okay, I have it. Okay. I have, you know what I mean? I want the first, you know, so you can do a find without, so that's cool. There's plenty of application on this, correct? Right? So you can, if you change, you say overdue invoice, not over, you know, this, you know, see? So now I have 11, right? So, and you can say, for example, who is the first in the row, right? For example. So let's say here, uh, so if I have this code, you know, I'm going to ChatGPT here. Um, uh, get me uh, uh, get a JSON, get elements with the same source, but I want both name and date. copy this, right? So based on this now, I want the latest, right? Correct? So I can do this and this, for example, and to get the first in the list of my search with the latest on top. So I can do this. I have 11, but the first name, right? That will be the first name. I don't have the name here. Why? So it didn't work. Hold on a second. Find. Okay, so let me see if that works first. Obviously not. Um, is there? Yeah, this is okay. This is where this. Oh, yeah, yeah, it's okay. Um, data zero. Okay, let me see. Data zero. Field. Field data. Field data. Customer name. It didn't come. Customer. Customer name. Why doesn't come? Well, response data. Yeah, data. Zero, yeah, field data. Customer name. That's weird. Well, I don't know. Just get element. Boom. It looks, everything looks okay. I don't understand why this. Okay. Well, okay. So I'm going to fix it tomorrow. Uh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Uh, name. Okay. List it as. Well, I don't care. Okay. So we have some issues, right? So anyway, we can continue tomorrow. I will fix that tomorrow. But anyway, so you saw all what you can do with this. I mean, but tomorrow we can, because we can do even more thing, right? Like something crazy. Of course, we can do always we can do something crazy. So let's deactivate all of those things, right? And I can do this, which is crazy to me. You can send parameters, right? And put a context, right? You can put a context. So for example, that I'm going to show that tomorrow, but you can say, or, you know, um, you can say past due is overdue. Okay. So you send that as a parameter, okay? You know, you send that as a parameter. So yeah, need to past due is overdue. Uh, Maybe I should say past due is means overdue. Okay. So if I might, it might, I never, if I say past due, right? It should, and it didn't. Okay. Maybe I didn't formulate that correctly. Uh, Always, we do that tomorrow. Uh, okay, maybe we should say always understand past due as overdue. Boom. Right? So you can um, make your FileMaker stuff, I mean, your natural language, you can make parameters say, okay, yeah, when I put that, you need to understand that way, right? So you can invent your parameters, so you can be extremely sharp here when you have complicated things. Okay, to be honest with you, um, here you can send a prompt that is like 10, 15 lines, right? And you can say, okay, understand that if the vehicle is Toyota and the guy is in Lyon, right? But uh, it's overdue and it's more than you know what I mean. So you can, and then you have the parameters where you can redefine reality, right? Like here, for example, right? I said that I want to be today. Today is the 10th of January 2022. That's my current day. Okay. So if I said, show me invoices this year, well, it's in 2022 because I said this year. Yes, but my this year, yeah, I decided that, yeah, we are in 2022. So I redefined my this year. Today is this, right? So when the user says this year, interpret as invoice between. Okay. So you can redefine, you can say everything you want, right? If I say, or for example, the invoice, you can interpret like the amount is like this one, for example, is $4,000, and this one 3,000, and this 1,000, and this one 600. You can convert the number, and then you can do that. you can redefine your reality like you want. So that's why, it's with the parameters, it's where. So tomorrow you know, okay, so we have some questions here. Okay. Yeah, Foxy, it's I really want you guys to get involved in this. And I understand uh, it costs money, but it costs nothing to what it can give you, you know? And it's important to be okay. You're lucky. You're lucky because you're here, and now you know that the future, you can see the future. Like one of my listener, like a audience guy in Australia saying, "Oh, Nick, I watched you, and I was like watching a Star Trek episode, right? Uh, and it was right. So you can see that only here. There's nobody in the FileMaker community that is going to show you what I'm showing you because they're all afraid. Okay, they're all afraid to show you this. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know because I'm not afraid of being obsolete. I will be one of the latest. I will be one of the latest FileMaker user, FileMaker developer in the world. I will be I might be the latest, right? Because I will be like a pioneer in using AI from the get-go, right? Way before FileMaker even have this AI section, right? So that's why. So, and you know, and it's very important. And starting with the semantic find and the natural language find, starting using AI like this it's a smart way to begin, right? It's a very smart way to begin because it's not that complicated. You can watch my video again, and, with the file I'm going to give you, there's no brainer, right? The script is self-explicit, it's, so, but you need to be involved and not refuse it and not ignore it. Yes, you need to pay. Do you think I love paying $200 a month? I don't like it. Neither I like to get to pay my bill is like $100 a month for my cell phone. Do you think I love it? I like it? But can you live without a cell phone? I ask you.
In the modern day, no.
You can't, right? So it's the same damn thing. Yeah, okay, you need to pay the phone, but this is, yeah, if you don't want to pay the phone, okay, good luck. Good luck. You can leave. Okay, so it's the same for now in your work. AI is the same thing. And you can use the free version of AI to do fine like this, but you will be like out very quickly. With the $20, that's enough, right? You need the $200 version when you start doing what I just did with ChatGPT, right? You send this and stuff like that. I don't know why this doesn't work, but it's okay. I will, fine. But but you can start with the $20 version. Stay with ChatGPT. Don't go somewhere else. ChatGPT is the mother of all AI for this type of work. Okay, so don't go other. And and start there. I would be happy to continue and do other AI, stuff for you. But so far, I was feeling like, hey, nobody, like I said this morning in the meeting, I said, nobody's cared. Nobody wants it. Nobody likes it. Nobody reacts. Nobody. So, and I was saying, okay, that's a product here because it's like me being in 1999 and telling you, hey, guys, it's time to buy a global village modem, though. And you will tell me for what to get connected to the internet? Really? What do you want me to do with the internet? This is what you look like. We are in 1999. I'm showing you how to connect to internet, and you say, well, I don't need it. Look where we are now, right? And imagine you don't know anything about internet, right? So how you can work? AI is much deeper than internet. Internet was just a support. AI is now a mean. It's not the same thing. Don't be afraid about AI. Embrace it. Love it. Do it. Use it. Be in. Don't worry. You're not being. I'm not saying that you need to be like a Borg, right? But you could be like Captain Picard. Say, oh yeah, Borg. You've been there, so how to deal with them, right? So I prefer to be like Captain Picard and know what it is to be a Borg than not knowing anything about them, right? So I prefer, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying you need to be a Borg, nobody want to be a Borg, even if sometime I'm feeling like I am one, right? But I still, I'm a Hugh, you need to be like a Star Trek fan to know that. I'm Hugh the Borg. Okay, I'll let you find out. So I'm this guy. I'm this Borg. So, and I'm Hugh, right? And and you need to be. So yeah, David Angel. This and don't get me started with the robot stuff. Because I think we're going to leave a world where we will start seeing delivery, right? And it's funny. Yeah, I'm off script now. So, yes, David Angel. Just want to say to you that always use let parameters in this. By the way, how you can write this without the let. You define the current date, you define what the current year is, you define what the date start this year, because, with the current year based on you know what I mean? So it knows, and then you say the context, and then you use the context, because that's the two things you can send. The temperature, I'm going to explain what today is, but it's, okay, uh, think more, right? So this is think like crazy, right? And that means it might return no results. And this will be the best, a free temperature on free, not two. I will explain what temperature is, and the context. This is a two parameter as a JSON that ChatGPT will understand. But yeah, I try to, and you know what? My cousin here in Greece, she is taxi driver, okay, and she hates Uber, Lyft, and whatever. There's a new app they have here in Greece. I don't remember the name. They have an app, for the taxi people, right? And she hates it because she loves the cash, and she loves to be like, you're a tourist, you don't know anything about the island, and the meter says $20, 20 euros, and she charged 40, right? Because you don't know. So she loved doing this. So she hates all of this thing. And I'm saying, yeah, but you know what? You will be obsolete like in 10 years. That means you're 38 right now. At 48, you're out of business, right? And she doesn't trust me. I say, okay, yeah. So I sent to her, like, I show her many videos about what happened in San Francisco and, about taxi, right? I mean, who is going to be a driver in the future, right? So yeah, we're going to, so when I see that, the David Angel, yeah, we are facing big trouble in terms of, the humanity is going to face a challenge here because this is not going away. It's not. So, Marsh,
I think we're good.
I think so. So tomorrow we can continue. Tomorrow we do the prompt stuff. We're going to use this, right? And yeah, so
sounds good to me. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
okay.
Have a lovely day. We will
See you
see you
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No.